for us. We bring in the cloud cover on our Friday. Snow showers start to roll in here during the evening, and this is going to be impacted by dry air. Warm air moving in from the south, that is really going to be a powerhouse for snowfall. So this is going to come down wet, heavy throughout Friday evening and then move off to the east. Dry air, it's going to have to fight it. Once it does, we've got probably about a 3 or 4 hour window where we accumulate some of that heavier wet snow. As we head overnight, things kind of die down just a bit. We start to link up with part 2, low pressure system down to the south. The big question is, are we going to see any of that snow kind of rematerialize through the morning and into the afternoon? This particular model, not very optimistic about it. So all in all, I'd say at this point, stay tuned to the forecast. I wouldn't necessarily change those travel plans specifically on Saturday morning, but we always welcome your weather photos and reports, weather team at tmj4.com. And when you ever are dealing with travel and the weather does get very messy, always want you to know, keep in touch with your airline to track delays and cancellations. But at this point, as we roll into the weekend, I'd hold off on making any changes to that Saturday travel. If you've got Friday evening travel, on the other hand, that might be complicated by the weather, and you definitely want to keep that in mind and maybe make some adjustments now. 14 degrees in Milwaukee, west wind at about 15. It's 16 currently in Waukesha. We've got teens all across the area. Those northwest winds quite breezy, so that is generating wind chills below 0. We've definitely cooled down now that that snow is out of here. And tonight, temperatures begin to fall back into the single digits. We now have a fresh snowpack, so that is certainly going to make things feel much cooler out there. So this next snow system, part 1, that heavier snow after sunset on Friday. Part 2, I'd say, is probably the biggest question mark. That steady snow on Saturday. Where does that storm track go? Do we see more of that snow, a bit more consistent in southern Wisconsin? Does it drop down to the south and leave us with not as high of snowfall rates? Dry air, the storm track, that's going to be the complicating factors for this particular storm system. So again, let's bring you in closer here. Future forecast, we bring in that heavier wet snow Friday during the evening hours. It's going to be a significantly delayed onset if the dry air really poses a problem. But once that gets started, it's about 3 to 4 hours of that moderate to at times heavy snowfall. And this is going to be a wetter, heavier snow than what we just experienced. And then as we head overnight, kind of that lull in activity. So again, morning flights on Saturday, it's up to Mitchell. They've got to clear those runways, kind of up to see if there are any delays of arrivals or departures. But once we get beyond Saturday afternoon, we'll keep an eye on that storm track just down to the south. There will still likely be light snow showers across the area. Overall, we think that Friday evening really could bring in up to about 4 inches of snowfall. Dry air may limit things in the southern part of the area. Again, we're kind of accounting for that on Saturday. So 2 to 4 right now at the state line, 4 to 7 elsewhere. Stay tuned to the forecast. There will likely be some changes. Up to 32 there on Saturday, 22 on Sunday. And the big thing, we get rid of all the precip, but boy, does it cool down next week. Temperatures only topping out in the teens, morning lows below 0.